inscription over the gate of hell and the impression it produces upon Dante. Virgil takes him by the hand and leads him in. The dismal sounds make him burst into tears. His head is quite bewildered. Upon a dark plain, which goes round the confine, he sees a vast multitude of spirits running behind a flag in great haste and confusion, urged on by furious wasps and hornets. These are the unhappy people who never were alive, never awakened to take any part in either good or evil, to care for anything but themselves. They are mixed with a similar class of fallen angels. After passing through the crowd of them, the poets come to a great river, which flows round the brim of hell, and then descends to form the other rivers, the marshes, and the ice that we shall meet with. It is the river Acheron, and on its shore all that die under the wrath of God assemble from every country to be ferried over by the demon Charon. He makes them enter his boat by glaring on them with his burning eyes. Having seen this and being refused a passage by Charon, Dante is suddenly stunned by a violent trembling of the ground, accompanied with wind and lightning, and falls down in a state of insensibility. So, Canto 3. Through me is the way into the doleful city, through me the way into the eternal pain, through me the way among the people lost. Justice moved my high maker, divine power made me, wisdom supreme and primal love. Before me were no things created, but eternal, and eternal I endure. Leave all hope, ye that enter. These words of color obscure, so I written above a gate, where I am. Master, thy meaning to me is hard, and hid to me as one experienced. Here must all distrust be left, all cowardice must here be dead. We are come to the place where I told thee thou shalt see the wretched people who have lost the good of the intellect. And placing his hand on mine, with a cheerful countenance that comforted me, he led me into the secret things. Here sighs, plaints, and deep wailings resounded through the starless air. It made me weep at first. Strange tongues, horrible outcries, words of pain, tones of anger, voices deep and hoarse, and sounds of hands amongst them, made a tumult, which turns itself unceasing in that air forever died, as the sound when it eddies in a whirlwind. And I, my head begirt with horror, said, Master, what is this that I hear? A recognize some amongst them. I saw and knew the shadow of him who from cowardice made the great refusal. Forthwith I understood and felt assured that this was the crew of caitiffs, hateful to God and to his enemies. These unfortunates, who never were alive, were naked and sorely goaded by hornets and by wasps that were there. This made their faces stream with blood, which mixed with tears was gathered at their feet by loathsome worms. And then, as I looked onwards, I saw people on the shore of a great river, whereat I said, Master, now grant that I may know who these are, and what uses makes them seem so ready to pass over, as I discern by the faint light. And he to me, the things shall be known to thee, when we stay our steps upon the joyless strands of a heron. Then with eyes ashamed and downcast, fearing my words might have offended him, I kept myself from speaking till we reached the stream. And lo, an old man, white with ancient hair, comes towards us in a bark, shouting, Woe to you, depraved spirits! Hope not ever to see heaven. I come to lead you to the other shore, into the eternal darkness, into fire and into ice. And thou who art there, alive, depart thee from these who are dead. But when he saw that I departed not, he said, By other ways, by other ferries, not here, shalt thou pass over. A lighter boat must carry thee. And my guide to him, Charon, vex not thyself, that it is willed there, where what is willed can be done, and ask no more. Then the woolly chicks were quiet, with the steersman on the livid marsh, who round his eyes had wheels of flame. But those spirits who were foreworn and naked changed colour and chattered with their teeth, soon as they heard the bitter words. They blasphemed God and their parents, the humankind, the place, the time, and origin of their seed and of their birth. And all of them together, sorely weeping, drew to their cursed shore, which awaits every man that fears not God. Charon, the demon, with eyes of glowing coal, beckoning them, collects them all, smites with his oar whoever lingers, as the leaves of autumn fall off one after the other, till the branch sees all its spoils upon the ground. So one by one, the evil seed of Adam cast themselves from that shore at Sinos, as the bird at its call. Thus they depart on the brown water, and ere they have landed on the other shore, again a fresh crowd collects on this. My son, said the courteous master, those who die under God's wrath all assemble here from every country, and they are prompt to pass the river, for divine justice spurs them so, that fear is changed into desire. By this way no good spirit ever passes, and hence, if Charon of myself.